Hello, and welcome to my channel. I am Damien Marie AtHope. In the simplest terms, I am an atheist-humanist philosopher and prehistorical writer-researcher at DamienMarieAtHope.com. I am specifically an axiological atheist. An axiological atheism can be thought to involve ethical and value theory reasoned and moral argument driven apatheism, agnosticism, atheism, antitheism, antireligionism, secularism, and humanism. Axiological atheists can be understood as a value theory or a value science atheist. As an axiological atheism's ethically reasoned and constructive pro-humanity. I am an axiological thinker, value theorist. The science of goodness, worthiness, usefulness, valuableness, virtue, reliableness, accuracy, validity, morality, integrity, beneficialness, etc., etc. We axiologists have a value consciousness. And in general, we see the architecture of humanistic humanitarianism value in people that we see as dignity beings. Places and things are not. Axiology is a value theory. In its broadest sense, it involves areas of philosophy that are deemed to encompass some evaluative or evaluation aspect. Therefore, it crosses almost all domains in some way or another. Now for a more detailed terms as to what I am. I am an axiological atheist, an anti-theist, an anti-religionist, secularist, humanist, rationalist, writer, artist, poet, philosopher, advocate, activist with schooling in psychology, sociology, as well as I am an autodidact, self-taught in science, archaeology, anthropology, and philosophy. I promote science and am against pseudoscience, pseudo-history, pseudo-morality, things that are found in religion.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going?
Right. So you got what I was saying about how we're going to do 2 shows and cut the video. The first show under an hour.
Okay.
I'm going to try really hard because the other show is more important to me about trans and sports because I really hate sports.
Right.
And I want people to understand that it's not just like Damien's bigoted against male things because that's also true. But that's not actually why. There's really some shitty, terrible things about sports that people like, I don't know, delusional not acknowledge. But
yeah.
And the other thing is that I really think also that the trans issue, is important. Whether or not I'm not trans myself, but being genderqueer, I get it. Not understanding why people don't get that, it's really weird. People get that there's tomboys, right? That's been around for a long time.
Yep.
I am talking, babe. Anyways, she's being helpful. But my point is I was going to say to you is I want to cut the video. So
yeah.
Just so I can have 2 separate things.
Yeah. Do you want to leave and then come back in a new one?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, isn't that easier?
It is easier. Yeah.
Yeah. So then you can send me one little one, then send me the other one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I'll say it again. I want to say stuff about the dignity attack things, but I want to, like Shana keeps telling me, I need to be careful because bad people are always watching. I'm like, yeah. She's like, the good people won't really utilize it and the bad people will. I'm like, yeah. The good thing, though, is psychopaths and sociopaths don't do my style very well. That is the one benefit. So really, if you're an empathetic or an average person, you probably can do better than a sociopath or psychopath.
Oh, okay.
Because if you can fake real care or actually have real care, it works way better.
Right.
Problem is, someone like me, caring is not like my first thought. It's not care. First thought is, I don't give a fuck. That's what my first thought is. And I think, well, that's not right. And So, but that's what I wanted to say too, is that the reason I'm doing this, because like my wife's like, why do you keep telling people that you already told them too much? Well, I want to defend the innocent. This is my goal, so people understand. I'm not saying this. I want people to go hurt people or be able to have power over people. I want people to stop having power over you, not just you, Cory, personally, but anyone who's victimized. I'm fucking sick of it that the people that are, not being armed who need to be armed. We don't need to help psychopaths. They're doing fine on their own.
No, that's fair. Yeah. I guess it's the sort of thing you got to be super careful with, right? Like you don't want to be teaching people how to hurt other people, right?
Right. And the problem is I could really do that. I didn't told you before that when I started this, I didn't even think about anyone using it for bad, because I thought we were talking, me and my friend is a philosopher and we're talking philosophy. And I explained a little bit deeper than I've even told you, because I understand like the what, the where, the why, the how, and the whole process. So because of that, I can make it so anybody could understand and use it very effectively if they, could remember to. But I started doing that with him, and his first thought, wow, you could really use this to manipulate women.
Well, that's definitely.
And so I was like, mortified. Oh shit, that's true. Someone could hurt people with the stuff that I know. And I'm not saying that I'm some great person that would not want to do that too. But ethically, as an axiologist, value first, not me first, value first.
Yeah.
When I think of value first, that's why some people think I take a side. No, I try to take value first, not my side, your side, left, right. And I value first, and then try to figure out how to achieve that. That's more my goal. It's not, you see what I'm saying? Like my goal is not winning. That isn't no value to me. Value is change. Value is getting a person to think honestly. That's the value. So like, and when I use it, say dignity attack, even in a debate, as soon as I feel like they're getting it or their willingness is increased, I stop, because the goal was not fucking pound them. Right. The goal was to get healthy thinking. So,
right on.
Right. And real quick, you're going to read one, but right before you do that, let me just tell you one I just had yesterday. This also has to do with the I feel the ethical responsibility. What I'm giving people is a form of power, and with power comes responsibility. And this one guy tried to argue with me that was a normative fallacy to say that power has a responsibility. I'm like, no. If you accurately understand the word power is the ability to do something to others. It's generally not considered a power like unto yourself. Right. It's the ability to do things in the world to others, which to me are dignity beings that then we have to worry about how we're interacting, so they're not unethical actions.
Right.
And so to me, when I like last night, I got angry. Well, because it's the one issue that really bothers me was always like feeding people and like that.
Right.
Kamala Harris had said in 2020 that she proposed that people should get $2,000 a month until the COVID is over, or until there's no direct threat of livelihoods and all. Great idea,
for sure.
But she didn't do that. And then this one leftist was saying that, right? And this other person was defending it. Well, she only said proposal, so she didn't actually break a promise. And I thought, that really irks me. Like I'm not a Democrat, and I try not to, go after them hardcore. But that right there statement is just absolute horseshit. And I use dignity attacks because this other person, the other leftist, said like 7, 8, 12, I don't know, back and forth about what words mean. Oh, bullshit. And I went right in there. I said, imagine a person who gets that people have needs. Then they choose to stop understanding that or supporting that. Yeah. And then here you are, I guess, seeing them as a what? Hero that you need to defend. That action, the fact of that, makes me sad for both her and you. And that person never came back. But And so let me explain that real quick. So what I did is I first started to imagine. See, I told you before, anger produces strength. So it's not good to do a dignity attack in a sense and add anger, because it actually diminishes your power. What you want to do is add shame. And you do that by, like I did, imagine taking them, both of us, right, outside and just look at, if you saw this, is that ethical thinking behavior?
Right.
And then they realize it isn't. And there's the dignity attack. Because I'm getting them to, because I told you, when you feel shame, you feel self-defensive.
Right.
When you feel anger, you're at attack.
Right. Yeah.
So you don't want to inspire anger because they're ready for that. But boy, they're not ready for shame.
Especially online. Like, people are definitely ready for anger and attack.
Right? Oh, yeah. They couldn't handle 10 seconds probably with me in real person. They wouldn't even try to challenge me.
Right.
But yeah, but I was going to say too is, but I realized after I said that, I realized it's a pretty good dignity attack. I probably, even if they come back, I should just let it go, because otherwise I'm being abusive.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, what am I doing? Just trying to win? That's what I was trying to tell you, that I don't really like debates. The whole thing is set up that one has to win, or that's it's not really so people can learn. Otherwise, it would be set up differently, more questions, less attacking or less statement making, defending yourself. It would be a more actual, honest conversation. Yeah. So anyways, go ahead and read the thing. What you're going to read is from the UN Council on Refugees and Art and Culture and whatever. And it was on LinkedIn before I got kicked off. It's probably one of the reasons for doing this, not just this time, but many times, make bigots feel small.
Okay, so we're talking about effectively using and applying manipulation and motivation, dignity attacks, and dignity enrichments. So dignity is the right of a person to be valued and respected for their own sake and to be treated ethically. It is of significance in morality, ethics, law, and politics as an extension of the Enlightenment era concepts of inherent inalienable rights. The term may also be used to describe personal conduct, as in behaving with dignity. Dignity equals respect. To Damien, dignity may be summarized as acknowledging as well as honoring that others own themselves and thus possess value, as well as as fellow dignity beings. In the end, all we really have is each other, and life is too damn short not to be kind. So utilizing dignity. Dignity enrichment 1, acceptance of thinking or behavior. 2, showing understanding. And 3, offer support for who and what they are. A dignity attack is 1, critical challenge of thinking or behavior. 2, expose confusion or irrationalism. And 3, offer rebuttal or rebuke of who and what they are. Is this attacking the person? Damien strives to attack thinking and not people, but Damien sometimes may use dignity attacks about behavior or thinking people are doing. Damien strives to only say things they can quickly fix or change. Then Damien will pressure them to change it. Damien's point in doing this is to help mirror the bad or error thinking or behavior so that they can change if they wish. Damien tries to never do it to hurt anyone, as Damien sees this as not a productive and potentially abusive in the ethical use of dignity attacks, which we've talked about.
Right. That's what I was saying. I was angry, and I realized I need to stop, because this thing about not feeding people, that fucking really pisses me off. Yeah. So it's even worse is when people say that kids don't deserve food. Oh, fuck. Then I have to really hold myself back, because I want to unload.
Yeah. However, if dignity attacks only spend time pointing fingers, has Damien not wasted time? He could have also offered helping hands. Thus, even though some things need to be harshly pointed out, so too there is a need to be involved in the benefit of helping where we can. May Damien's drive to help not be somehow silenced just because there is a need to fight all that is wrong. Damien says, attacking thinking, not people, we who truly value ourselves and others can and do make a better world. May we together fill the world with this shining example of humanity. So then we're on a section we're calling Damien's axiological dignity being theory.
Right. And this is because they don't clarify it. They'll like say all these things all the way around. And I'm like, I know what you're talking about.
But it's not necessarily like spelled out the way.
No, that's why I say dignity being theory. There is no, in a sense, dignity being theory, except Damien just invented it. Because I see them talking about the need of dignity, the thing of dignity, how it does this, how it interacts. I'm like, yeah, you're saying that all this stuff is the same stuff.
Right, okay. So, an axiological assessment of human beings shows with an axiological awareness a logic of values is clear, which takes as its basic premise that all persons always deserve positive regard.
And positive regard doesn't, just so you understand, positive regard does not mean that I accept, like counseling do positive regard, but yet they challenge you constantly. So positive regard is not letting you do the fuck ever you want and going, oh, it's great, it's wonderful, you're a fascist. Oh, well, wonderful. Right. Good for you. No, fuck no. It says, wow, should you be a fascist? Are fascists good people? Do fascism bring greater harmony in the world? Does it improve child's education? Does it, you know what I'm saying? Does it improve freedom and justice? I mean, that's the kind of thing in a sense. Instead of saying, I want to punch you in the face, it's making them understand why they should not want to do it themselves.
Right.
To me, it's much stronger. It's really easy just to use aggression.
Yeah.
But see, my thing is not winning. My thing is not making you feel for the moment. My thing is the hope that you actually change.
So that's from Progressive Logic by William J. Kelleher, PhD. And the reason why we should is because we are a being of dignity or dignity beings. Okay, so now the interactions Damien had with the bigot on LinkedIn page for UNESCO, the United Nations educational, scientific, and cultural organization that specializes in promoting world peace and security through international cooperation in education, arts, sciences, and culture. So
just so people know what he responded to, his hate thing about was actually they just posted something with the rainbow flag that just said "love is love." That's all it did. It wasn't like some bunch of stuff, but it inspired a bigot. So go ahead.
Yeah. So like you say, it's a post of a rainbow, says "love is love," and then this guy, he says it's Newt ... So like an ellipses, I guess. Sorry, LGBT community must be hospitalized. Stop.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, "Oh hell, fuck!"
Yeah, no, that's.
That. They actually told me in LinkedIn that wasn't considered hate speech. How the fuck is it not? What?
Of course it is. Of course it is.
The fuck? What's crazy is I got kicked off for me being a bully to bullies.
Right.
Oh yeah, because me challenging that shit, saying that I need to be hospitalized, beat up to the point, where I need a hospital because of who I am. But yet he can say that shit and it's okay. Something wrong with the world.
So then your response is, I see you and wonder, do you think you expressed what a good person would say? And then again.
Oh, by the way, real quick. When I say I see someone, I say this sometimes, I'm showing them they're exposed.
Oh, okay.
They're vulnerable. I see you. I say this to people and it because they feel it's because I'm adding the shame.
Right.
It's like when I say, imagine I'm removing it from you to be able to be angry because I did it we're going to take a look at this separate from us. Does this look right to you? Then instead of me attacking you directly, I've moved it over, not me or you. They don't know how to defend against that.
Right. As opposed to just being like, hey man, that's bigoted and fucked up.
Right. That will not get them to change.
Right. Yeah. So then again, Damien posted, what are a list of quote unquote wrong things and would be harming or threatening to harm others on that list?
Right, because he said wrong things. You shouldn't do wrong or promote wrong things.
Yeah.
Oh, really? How about harming people? Is that a wrong thing?
Hospitalizing people.
Right?
Yeah.
For just being themselves?
Yeah. So then he attempts to evade the dignity attack by saying, it's not a matter of goodness or badness. It's a fact that sex is made for men with women. We don't care if I'm good or not.
But see, pause right there. Do you realize he already lost? That shows two statements. He first starts as superior. I'm doing what's good and defending the rights of good. And then, oh, it's not about good or bad. Oh, so it's not about good.
Yeah.
And then he even made it further. He owned the dignity attack, which I was like, oh my God, I got his ass good. He owned it by saying, well, it's not I'm a good person. Yeah, that's right, motherfucker. You're not.
Yeah.
Thank you for admitting that. And the first comment back.
Yeah. Okay, so then it's not a matter of goodness or badness. It's a fact that sex is made for men with women. We don't care if I'm good or not. So then you ignore him back and then attack with a dignity attack again. Are you a good person, and how would I know? And then you reply again, I was hoping you had honor. Was I wrong?
Yeah, that's a good one. Because see, what you're doing by how I phrase it, I start by almost accepting that he has honor. And then he's lost my hope in him for honor.
Right.
I did it back to Shane.
So then
I'm just showing why it's powerful.
Yeah, no,
I'm not just saying words, it's how you say it.
Yeah. It reminds me of like when like one of the things people used to say is like, I can't believe you believe this thing. I thought you were smart.
Right. Which is a kind of a dignity attack. But that gets a little closer to character attack.
Right.
I would rather say, don't you agree that smart people choose smart actions? But your actions, would you really call them smart?
Right.
Because see, now they feel like they have to defend themselves. You should always end up in a sense where people feel they have to. You don't want anger.
Right.
Because then they can defend. But they have to defend themselves and defend themselves against something that we both know actually is not defendable.
Yeah. Okay. So he's responding. He says, no, but you can ask your doctor about this one. He has it on his list of wrong things. Doctors just have this list of wrong things on the wall.
In homosexuality or me being genderqueer or intersex is right. One of those, obviously.
It's just on the list on the wall. Sorry.
But see, also ridiculous. What I was going to say is, you notice I never answer him.
Right.
I never defend what he says. What I do is actually more powerful than that. I fucking ignore it. As if it's like a fucking fly. You just, what the hell?
Right. That's one of the things that we often get caught up in, I think, on arguing online is we want to address every single thing that they've said. And
as if what they say fucking matters.
Exactly.
I show them, your shit doesn't matter, and I'm going to keep coming at you hard.
Okay, so then you reply, I am intersex. Are you supportive of me? And then intersex people are born with sex characteristics, including genitals and gonads and chromosome patterns that do not fit typical binary notions of male or female bodies. Intersex is an umbrella term used to describe a wide range. And then there's more to that comment, but.
Right, but that gives people the idea. The intersex is, it does another thing too, is to me, like people say that someone realizing they're trans is a choice, and not any more than me realizing I was genderqueer.
Right. Yeah.
How did I realize it? I couldn't be a man. Everyone kept gender policing me constantly.
Right.
I'm like, the fuck? Then I heard the word and I cried because I thought, oh fuck, now I understand. Why didn't I learn that in my own college and started researching all this kind of stuff because I never knew.
Right.
Then once I researched it and I read what genderqueer stands for, I instantly cried. Because I thought, oh, fuck. I always thought I'm just some weird freak. I'm like, I don't even understand. I'm like nobody. I don't.
Right. There's a thing that actually describes how you are.
Yeah, and to feel understood for the first time really in my life, and not being judged, just understood, man, it felt powerful.
Right.
So that's why I how could I not support trans people? I would be a fucking hypocrite.
Apparently, a lot of people don't care about that, though.
A lot of people seem to favor being a hypocrite, it would seem.
It's the preferred state of being.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, so another comment, dignity attack. What we don't understand, we come to fear. That which we fear, we too often come to hate. That which we hate, we seek to destroy. See, it is clearly bad thinking. And then he replies, I did my thing to stop this movement for our children's children. You can do what it looks like for humanity too, because after all, this is a future problem we are all involved in. I say if two men want to have sex, okay, no problem.
But now it's no problem?
Right. At the top, it was on the list of wrong things.
Yeah. But you see, I'm saying, if you really listen to what he's saying, and he's already every single time being pushed by my thinking.
Right. He has to seed the point.
Right? Yeah, every time. And yet I didn't actually attack him, and yet he's conceding all these points to me. And people think that what I do doesn't do stuff. Oh, bullshit.
Yeah, where was I? I say if two men want to have sex, okay, no problem. But then they gonna want to adopt, and that's just a humanitarian crime to let child growing up in a toxic atmosphere. Okay, so that's his attempt to avoid the dignity attack. So then there's another dignity attack coming from you. So you are waiting to demonstrate what a good person is some other time? Again, do you have honor? Yeah.
See, once you start getting what I'm doing, you're like, oh shit, David's throwing some grenades at his ass.
Yeah. Okay, so then he replies, attempting to avoid the dignity attack. No, but you can ask a doctor. Oh, maybe that's the same one.
No, he tries it again.
Again? Really?
Because he thinks that it works for me to keep almost saying the same shit that he'll try to do. But because this is what you understand. They will try, if these are smart, to try to figure out how to fight me. Because they're not used to what I'm doing. So they don't know how to fight a dignity attack. So they're trying. But how do you fight one, Cory? I've told you. How do you fight a dignity attack? There's one really good way. Dissolve your ego.
Oh,
or stop your ego for the moment. It's not about you, is it?
Right.
Isn't it about truth? Isn't it about value?
Yeah. So then I guess he does repeat himself. He says, no, but you can ask your doctor. He has it on his list of wrong things. You know, the one on the wall there in the frame.
Yeah.
And so then you reply with another dignity attack and say, are you scum that desires harm or a person of love that wants kindness to all like me? So are you, and then you say again, are you waiting to just demonstrate what a good person is some other time? Again, do you have honor? And then he replies in an attempt to evade, man, you cannot destroy the honor of the nature because of your own false honor. You can't make rules that nature already decided. You can't legalize what biology censored. And I do have honor since you insisted on this. So another.
So that's his ego talking. I'm like, oh my God. Because remember, if removing the ego is how you handle a dignity attack, how you become totally immersed in a dignity attack is to go after ego.
Right.
So when you hear him either giving in or doing ego to try to defend it, he is fucking losing.
Because now he's worried about.
Yeah, he's worried. Honor, I got him. I'm inside. I clicked the lock.
I am an honorable person. I am so.
I just called him scum.
Right.
Yeah, he's defending he's an honor person. Yeah,
right.
He's feeling it hard.
Okay, so then another dignity attack. Are you a good human or are you scum? And then he just says, okay, bye.
But he said, okay. That's the greatest thing. Is that he said, okay. I was like, it's good enough. Because I keep going. I thought, oh, no, this is good. I'm going to put this in a blog.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we kind of discussed it as we were going through it. That's the end. You said have a good day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I see basically the idea, like what he were doing there is kind of the opposite of what I've always done when I'm arguing online. Because I do that. I get hung up on every detail, every single claim that they make. Like I'm always a sucker for the Gish Gallop, right? Like the Ben Shapiro's that rattle off 600 false things. And I'm like, no, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong.
Instead of grouping it together and go, this is a group of wrong things.
Yeah.
Is this really how a good person will? Yeah. But so you see more what I'm talking about, how to do it. And also, the important too, I'm not just showing it so you can learn how to attack.
Right.
I want everyone, not just you, everyone to understand when it's happening to you. Just because I am skilled at doing it doesn't mean other people do it without understanding the skill. Because I learned how to hone it up actually because of my wife. She's an empath. And so she does it kind of naturally, more of the dignity enrichment than the dignity attacks. But she does those too. But she does lots of dignity enrichments. I mean, so much. It's like everywhere she goes, she's like dropping love bombs everywhere almost, which is cool.
For sure.
But not me. She goes, yeah, Damien walks around. I don't even talk to people. I seem angry all the time. Well, I'm a sociopath. I don't walk around thinking happy thoughts. And then like, well, people are hurting. I'm like, yeah, I know. It sucks. She goes, yeah, but you don't care. I'm like, well, yeah, I guess that would be a good thing. Because I once again, because of sociopath, I'm more self-focused. It's not that I like hate other people. It just don't. They're not in my world.
Yeah, I can understand that. I guess I would fall closer to the empath side. My dad, I used to wonder why everywhere I went, people would chat with me. And my dad was like, it's because you come off as a friendly person who's positive and you smile at them and make eye contact.
Right. Which I told you are actually dignity enrichments.
Right.
Those are things that make people feel safe, make people feel you're open and that they can talk to you, that you're not going to criticize them. Those are all, because they don't feel that with me. When they look at me like, oh shit, I hope this guy doesn't be mean to me.
Right.
But like I said, both have value, though. I use both. I wouldn't have used dignity enrichments at all. But seeing how effective they are with my wife, like, oh, man, she can get all kinds of stuff. We got cheaper, almost half price for staying in this hotel.
Oh, wow.
Because of her. Well, all these people, she knows them by name, all of them like her down here. I'm like, oh, I wouldn't even know anything. I wouldn't care to know.
That's awesome.
She's like, how do you not, interact with people? I'm like, yeah, I don't think about it. And if I do, I'm like, yeah, that sucks to be them. I don't. But like I told you before, I don't want people to look at that behavior I do and say, oh, well, Damien is supporting that. No, I'm saying I have mental illness and it's hard for me not to do that. But I also say that I try very hard to not do that.
Right.
And when my wife says things like, I should be more caring or I should have looked at, I understand that's wisdom. I don't have that emotional wisdom inside, but I understand it is wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah, it's valuable to have. Well, I guess in the sense like dignity attacks and dignity enrichments are both, they have a value, right?
Yeah, right. And that's what I was saying too. They also are power is what I see them as, both of them. They're powerful. You're very powerful because you're very good at dignity enrichments naturally. I'm not. And my wife goes, yeah, and they wouldn't work as good in public if you were talking to people because they see who you are online. They only hear the words.
Right.
They don't really see the Damien behind them. 6 foot, 400-pound dude that looks like a bouncer at a biker bar. So, but then I talk all feminine sometimes and emotions and stuff, and that people go, what the fuck? But that's because our society doesn't accept genderqueer people. I've always been like, people are like, yeah. What the fuck? Yeah, that's just me being me. I'm not even. My mom used to say all the time to me, I was dramatic. You're dramatic. I now realize she means flamboyant, like as in almost gay acting.
Oh, okay.
Some people would look at my behavior and say, yeah, gay acting. I just don't have any desire for men. So, but I certainly, I mean, my first time my wife saw my room, it was all done up like my mom even said, wow, why would this decorate the room? Yeah, because I'm not straight, like that kind of mentality or whatever. Not a man's man or whatever you want to call it, even though I look kind of like it. Boy, if you look at, that's the hard thing too, is how bigoted our society is. Just because of how I look, people will not accept who I am. It's fucked up. In fact, even this one time I was getting a massage, and a massage therapist was about 5 foot and a butch lesbian who had, I think she was married. I'm not totally sure, but certainly had at least a girlfriend. I know that. Anyways, she said, when I said that I was feminine, she laughed out loud. And she goes, look how big you are. And I said, yeah. And if I took that as logic and looked at how small you are, you must be uber feminine. And then she laughed again. Yeah. There's nothing fucking feminine about that chick.
Well, and like you say, like size, like the size of a person, the shape of a person doesn't determine their expression of gender, right?
That's what I'm trying to say. What the fuck? Our society is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because like I've had people like on the street come up to me when I had a little tiny dog, and they were like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? How can you have a little dog? Just because I should have big dog because I'm a big guy.
So
it's just horrid shit, man. Or they go, oh, did you do your beard for a sports team? And I'm like, I'm goth. And I also am genderqueer, so I like kind of, not totally. Sometimes wear makeup too.
The answer is no. It does not have to do with sports.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, absolutely fucking not. I couldn't even explain football to you if I wanted to. I don't even understand it. So I don't know. That also shocks the shit out of people. What? Because you are. You don't like football, and I was like, no, fucking hate it.
Wow, and football in America is like this whole thing. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I told you, people are mortified that I don't know. You don't know football. I mean, come on. You played. I'm like, no, never did.
Zero interest. Thank you.
Yeah, no. I watched it and I went, the fuck is the point? To run and then smash people? I mean, why don't you just stay there and smash people?
Yeah.
The whole game was just like, the fuck? But anyways, because I don't like that shit. I remember the first time I saw a play. Oh shit! I wanted to go to play the rest of my life. I think this is the greatest thing in the fucking world. And like a lot of gay guys do. They're like, sports, no. Plays though. Broadway, yeah. But that's what I'm saying is it's fucked up because I'm actually both. People are like, well, but you're also strong. Yeah, I'm tough as fuck. But I'm also caring, in a sense, and also very feminine and other. So I mean, yeah, if you try to put me in a box, either one, it ain't gonna work. Because someone told me one time, I think you're just trans and you're homophobic or transphobic or whatever to not be yourself. And I go, see, that's what's really fucked up. I am my fucking self, and it's still not good enough.
Yeah, it is a problem that everybody wants to put others into boxes all the time. Like,
yes,
because we all carry certain traits that are feminine and some that are masculine and some that are neither, and we all carry different ideas about who we are. And everybody the society insists that we fit into this little box over here. And it's like, fuck, that's not that box doesn't include this thing that I love.
Right. Or who I am. Like I said, the other thing people, once they realize I'm kind of caring and stuff and not as just dangerous as they thought I was, then I'm a teddy bear, which is also not accurate. I am a fucking sociopath. I could kill people. I have way less problem with that than you think. As far as I support kindness, you'd think, oh my God, Damien couldn't hurt anybody. Bullshit. It's just Damien ethically chooses not to do that and sees that behavior is unethical in general. So I don't engage in it.
That's something that with the gender thing too, is like people, like they assume that sociopaths and psychopaths are usually masculine. Like the idea of a sociopath is a masculine idea, but it's not. Like you can have sociopaths of all genders.
Yeah, I totally agree. So plus people don't get to, psychopaths generally are born genetically. Sociopaths generally are more on the find that the social impact has turned them negative in a sense. In other words, at least 50% of, I've seen a study of sociopaths have had extreme child abuse. I had extreme child abuse. We're only 10% of psychopaths. So it shows that it's not the same. That's why people sometimes say, oh, the words are the same. No, they're not. One's about social and one's about your mental psychopath.
Right.
Sociopaths can seem like that kind of, but everybody knows the sociopath. They're the fucking troublemakers that everyone knows about. They've been in trouble their whole life. Probably been in jail since they've been a kid.
Right.
So was I. I mean, and a whole bunch of times my white privilege kept me from being in prison because I fucking brought a goddamn 44 Magnum to school and got caught.
Wow.
And was selling weapons in school and got caught. And
didn't do time for it.
Right. They called my dad and told him to pick up the gun. So I got no time. I didn't even get in trouble. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But anyway, so the point of this video, though, was basically just to get about going back to the dignity attacks and the dignity enrichments. We talked about the dignity attacks. Dignity enrichments to me are real important. I use these often in like debate or whatever to encourage people. Like, say if I just did a dignity attack and told me you're not a man of honor, and then you say, you know what, I should act better. And then I use a dignity enrichment. That is something that a person of honor would say.
Mm-hmm.
Now that person feels better. They're probably even, but so I'm not doing though to intentionally manipulate them. I do want to promote the good behavior.
Right.
I want to promote better thinking. When they say, you know what, maybe what I said wasn't rational. And I'm like, you know what, I'm really proud of you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
And it's a dignity enrichment I'm doing. I know I'm doing it. But the person will perceive it as me being a really generous and a great person. And when that happens, especially in a debate, they will change because we like people that like us. In fact, I heard a study that said that often attraction is that other people like you. That when they like you, you find them more attractive.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Just like, but that's what I'm trying to say is, so if I act as a friend, I'm hijacking in a sense your limbic system or whatever, the automatic system inside of you that is the fight or flight, tend and befriend. I'm interacting on a level, the dignity level, that's deeper in your mind. Because the thing about this, your dignity level in the sense that we're addressing is more like, that's why I know they're going to get angry. And you know it too. Like if I said, well, if I call someone a fucking asshole, you say, well, they might get angry. If I say that, well, the person doesn't have honor, they're probably going to feel shame. Right. It's a different, especially how I say it too. Because I could say it in a way, you have no fucking honor, and they're just going to get angry.
Yeah. Yeah, because the tone matters too, right?
Yeah, right. That's what I was saying too, the tone. So if I sound like I'm angry, if I say, are you a man of honor? All they're going to hear is the anger. So they're like, oh, fuck you. You think you are, you know? But if I say, wow, I thought you were a man of honor. I guess I was wrong. Boy, that's way stronger. Even though it seems weaker, it's way stronger. Because now I've slipped past your ego and I'm inside your fucking head.
Yeah, so it hits different.
It hits different, exactly. And then, because like I said, but it takes an ethical responsibility. I should realize I'm not doing this to win. I'm not doing this so I can prove I'm right or to fucking hurt him. I don't do those dignity attacks, even to him. I was not doing it to hurt him. I was like, this is some bullshit that I need to address now, both publicly and him personally. Saying that people should end up in hospital, that can't be allowed to be said. Any more than I would be okay if you were right next to me and somebody punched you in the face. I wouldn't be like, yeah, well, no, I'll just keep walking.
So be it. Yeah, no. And when, so it might be a thing like, yeah, I can't think of a single instance where somebody can say so-and-so needs to be hospitalized and it's okay. Like,
well, speaking of that, That's a good point. I hear some people who are leftists, right, that say they are totally against oppression, totally against violence, and then they'll say, but I will put a fucking child molester in a wood chipper. I'm like, those are two inconsistent statements.
Yeah, like,
sorry,
that's right.
First off, people need to understand there's a difference between a child molester and a pedophile. A pedophile is someone who actually likes kids. You don't, that's because I'm just saying, just because they feel that way does not mean that they've actually been a child molester.
Right. Yeah.
Then there's what's called opportunist sexual people, which generally are sociopaths and psychopaths, maybe narcissists, people or some other usually mental illness. But those to me, especially psychopath and sociopath, these people are opportunist sex. In other words, because they have a low empathy, the fact that it hurts a child, they're
not that worried about.
In other words, they may do child molestation. My point is, and yet it not be pedophile.
Okay,
but it doesn't mean I'm saying it's good. It's fucking terrible.
Right. It's still there's a victim, and
nope.
Like you say, like a pedophile, somebody who's attracted to children, may not actually have any victims.
Correct. That doesn't mean I'm saying that they're a safe person.
Right.
I'm just making a comment that people use these words just like sociopath and psychopath interchangeably. They're actually not. It's important because then and the reason why I was saying too, when I talked to you before about, I said, I don't believe everybody, is so well, even in a my perfect system, that we can't have some sort of a service that protects people, including some sort of a communal place to be people. I don't like the idea of prison because it's an idea of actually using punishment as a form of supposedly removing the threat,
my imagined quote unquote prison is more like a housing facility where somebody is just simply away from those they might harm, but still has all their dignity, right? Like,
well, to me, that's important. That's right. And see, not because they have done something to deserve dignity, as if we earn it and lose it.
Right. Right.
Yeah. No, to me, there's no such thing as learning it and lose it. And I was telling you before, I actually feel like people don't grasp how we can, like with that guy, I got him to start thinking different. You telling me if I was doing 10 years of counseling with that dude, he wouldn't be a different person?
Right.
He's a different person in one conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm not, that's the other thing too, is that like even me, I always just seriously had a lot of problems and did aggressive. I have first time from being suspended or expelled for 3 days or suspended for 3 days, we want to call it, was in first grade for fighting.
Oh, okay.
I beat a kid so bad he went to the hospital because I didn't have any control of my fucking rage.
Right.
Not, so I mean, you could look at my life. It's very obvious. I'm a sociopath. Tons and tons of violence. I got like in my 7th grade year, I had 23 suspensions for fighting on the bus alone, going to and from school.
Right.
Just violent. And everything to me, that's why how can you make an ethical anarchist system if you think it's okay to punch people for different beliefs or throwing humans into fucking wood chippers? And also, I have a thing that's really weird because they'll say, well, Damien, I don't agree with your thing about how we should have, somewhere like a mental health facility kind of prison or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but you think it's okay to flat out punch people and hit people on the fucking street for not doing anything, and just because they believe different, whatever, even they believe horrid things, fucking yeah. And then or to actually murder people. And the one guy that said he would murder people, I would throw all the pedophiles in a wood chipper. I have no problem saying that. I'm thinking, then you're not an anarchist to me. What the fuck? Do you think that's an anarchist solution to the problem of crime or the problem of abuse is to murder people? That sounds like fucking fascism to me, not anarchism.
It doesn't.
And the other thing I said, okay, my mom molested me or sexually abused me, whatever you want to call it. My father sexually abused my sister. My sister sexually abused my brother. Are you going to kill my whole family?
Right. Right. Well,
Do you think that's the solution an anarchist should come up with?
The trouble is, like, I mean, not to get, I guess, too deep into it, is that it's still too individualized, right? Like, it still doesn't address somebody was victimized, and that's why they are acting in the way they're acting. So then you can't solve a problem if all you do is just kill everybody who was a victim that then victimized somebody, because you're going to miss somebody who's going to victimize somebody else.
And even if the person is a piece of living dog shit, are we as a society that same dog shit?
Right. So we're just going to kill everybody.
Is our solution so similar to statism and capitalist bullshit, or fascism that you can't tell any difference?
Yeah, you don't just kill people because they were wrong or bad, or they're still people that exist and have dignity, and we have to deal with that. It's hard, but we have to deal with it.
And that also understanding is how I approach debates and discussions when I use dignity attacks. I see that as a loaded gun that I could just ram in and shoot people in the fucking head. And if I did that, would you hold me as an ethical person? Here I have this ability. It's like they hold people more accountable, right? I told you this before. If they're a boxer or a martial artist and they're able to get in a fight and kick the living shit out of people, well, no shit.
Right.
And some of them get charged as a deadly weapon by their own body. Well, my mind could do that. I could fucking go around and just shoot everybody in the fucking head. Is that ethical? Fuck no. Should I do as an ethical person do that? Fuck no. Well, then I don't do that. And like I said, but people go say, well, you still use it. I use it ethically. I don't think all guns should be banned because all guns are somehow inherently bad. But putting them in the wrong hands is fucking bad. Using them in a wrong way is fucking bad.
Yeah.
But it goes back to the same thing, like you said. It's simple for me. They're dignity beings. I should be the one to act different. Well, they don't act good, right? Because they're violating their own dignity. And then I should what? Be the same way? No. And I feel like there's multiple things. A is that we need to learn how to help people, not just punish them.
Yes.
This is not fucking productive, not even for society. They don't get that. Like, how do you not get this?
Yeah.
The more healthy people, the safer the fuck we are.
Yep. And restorative, like, it's not restorative in any way. Like the way that people like that kind of like throw them in a wood chipper mentality. It doesn't actually help the victims. It just makes people feel like somebody was properly punished, right? Like it just feels like punishment.
Well, and that's also a great statement is their solution is not even a solution totally, no matter if they thought they were right. Yeah. Because all you've done is dealt with one of the problems. Now this person's fucked up. Are you going to give them counseling for the rest of their life? Because they probably need it.
Yep,
but
for sure.
If you want to grasp this, if you have a healthy environment to begin with, where healthy support and stuff, the child will not be as affected because they have a support system. Just like if you have less abuse, but you have no support system, the child could be devastated. That's why I tell people don't measure abuse and who's got more. I had a lot of abuse. I don't do that. You don't ever see me. I acknowledge when someone says they had a girlfriend breakup or a boyfriend breakup.
Right. It's still hard.
Trans, whatever. Or genderqueer or intersex, all these people have different. What I mean is they have different emotions, different situations. Like feminism should support me too.
Yep.
Because fuck, I'm half feminine. It shouldn't be that it's limited. It's because it's not the opposite of manism.
Right. Right. Yeah.
It's supposed to be. It's like saying, somehow I can have justice, but but not have any, sort of ethics involved. Well, it can't be justice.
Yeah. Then it's not justice.
No. So anyways, I think that it's good. Can you tell me anything since the whole time you've talked to me, and we've talked about this a lot, have you got any new insights about dignity or anything about that?
I mean, I think it's easier for me to recognize the times that I've used dignity attacks or enrichments than I've ever, like, I never acknowledged it as such before, right?
Right.
So in the time that we've talked, I've learned, okay, well, that's what I've been doing on occasion. Like, it's not something I consciously do the way, which I think we've talked about too, is that it is a thing that sometimes people just do without realizing.
Totally, especially empaths. Maybe psychopath, probably not sociopath, but psychopaths probably know how to do them a little bit, but they're faking it.
Right.
An empath does it because they're just a good person.
Just because they feel like people need to feel good.
Well, let me take that back. I'm not saying every empath is a good person, so I'm not making some global claim of that. But I'm just saying empaths generally have a value of others. That outgrowth of that commonly, when you feel that emotional regard, is to then care. I mean, very few people understand care and then don't care.
yeah, that's right.
We're a sociopath, it's the exact opposite. We start with, we don't really care, and then, so it's not very easy to care.
Right. You actually have to work for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I told you, too, I don't like when people are like, oh, you're not a sociopath, you're so kind. I told you, it's actually irritating to me. Because now you're not acknowledging the work that I've done to become better.
Right.
Right? Not just that I no longer act like that. The fact that I can act the way I am now, people should be amazed. I also feel like it should be a condemnation. Don't give me any fucking excuses. If fucking I can do this, anyone can.
Right,
if you put value first.
When I was in my 20s, I used to kind of describe myself as having my empathy button was broken. So I didn't express empathy, and I wasn't an empathetic person so much. I just kind of didn't care. And over the years, as I've learned more and grown as a person, now I often find that I care more than I want to about people. So it's like I switched roles almost.
Well, I would say that if you're doing it now, and I see you doing it without knowing, like me, I know that you always were a good person. What you did was self-defense. You felt the world was dangerous. I need to not show myself, just like me not being as feminine as I really am.
Right.
It's an easy way to hide. Not that I actually have become more masculine. It's just I can hide better. And if I hide better, then I get less grief. And so, yes, in my life, I like when I was in high school and I had a pink and black bike, and they're laughing at me and saying, that's your sister's bike. And I said, no, I painted this myself. And they just walked away. Because they thought, what the fuck? And they're too scared of me to say anything.
They can't say anything at that point.
Yeah. But I eventually realized they were doing that, and so I would hide who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't want to be attacked. Not because, and so that's why I think it's great when trans people or genderqueer people or gay people or whatever can express who they are.
Yeah. Because
it's healthy. And a society that demands we not do that is not healthy.
Yeah, I agree.
So anyways, I'm going to stop the video and then we'll do another one. Thanks.
You bet.
Hello, and welcome to my channel. I am Damien Marie AtHope. In the simplest terms, I am an atheist-humanist philosopher and prehistorical writer-researcher at DamienMarieAtHope.com. I am specifically an axiological atheist. An axiological atheism can be thought to involve ethical and value theory reasoned and moral argument driven apatheism, agnosticism, atheism, antitheism, antireligionism, secularism, and humanism. Axiological atheists can be understood as a value theory or a value science atheist. As an axiological atheism's ethically reasoned and constructive pro-humanity. I am an axiological thinker, value theorist. The science of goodness, worthiness, usefulness, valuableness, virtue, reliableness, accuracy, validity, morality, integrity, beneficialness, etc., etc. We axiologists have a value consciousness. And in general, we see the architecture of humanistic humanitarianism value in people that we see as dignity beings. Places and things are not. Axiology is a value theory. In its broadest sense, it involves areas of philosophy that are deemed to encompass some evaluative or evaluation aspect. Therefore, it crosses almost all domains in some way or another. Now for a more detailed terms as to what I am. I am an axiological atheist, an anti-theist, an anti-religionist, secularist, humanist, rationalist, writer, artist, poet, philosopher, advocate, activist with schooling in psychology, sociology, as well as I am an autodidact, self-taught in science, archaeology, anthropology, and philosophy. I promote science and am against pseudoscience, pseudohistory, pseudomorality, things that are found in religion.